Baker Mayfield.
Obviously, the biggest news in the NFL, maybe even the whole sports world, was talking about Baker Mayfield getting traded finally to the Panthers after a whole long saga. We've talked about it. Maybe one of the first topics we ever covered on this podcast was the Baker Mayfield situation. And here we are. It's finally been resolved. Baker Mayfield gets traded to the Panthers for a 5th-round pick. Do you like the move? For Baker Mayfield or for the Panthers, or whichever perspective you want to take. Do you like the move?
I think Baker Mayfield will do a lot better than he did than on the Browns. Is he going to the playoffs? No, but
Yeah, he ain't going to the playoffs.
But I think he'll improve his performance. It'll help his media personality.
He can maybe...
Good move for Baker Mayfield. Now for the Panthers.
Does it make sense?
What are they getting rid of?
Just a 5th-round pick.
5th-round pick.
Not a bad move for them either.
Not a bad move.
But for the Browns?
For the Browns, it's looking ugly.
Yeah.
It's looking real ugly. Because that 5th-round pick could have potential. But he also could not.
And now they have no security blanket backup quarterback if Deshaun Watson, something happens with that.
But honestly, though, a 5th-round pick over a substitute quarterback?
Yeah.
A quarterback that you're going to use on the bench? I mean,
You take that?
honestly, I'm taking that.
Yeah. So you think it's a fair deal for everyone involved?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So I tend to agree with that. I think it's a good deal for Baker Mayfield, obviously, because Baker Mayfield needed a change of scenery desperately. It's just, I mean, look, Baker Mayfield was destined to fail in Cleveland, unfortunately. I'm a Baker Mayfield kind of fan. I've always liked the guy. 5 head coaches in 5 years, 5 different playbooks. The guy he's playing through injuries, torn labrums. The guy was not set up for success, and somehow he managed to bring the Browns franchise from a point where when he got there, they were the laughingstock of the NFL. Every year predicted to go 0-16, that type of bad, and now they're just, at least they get wins now. The Browns are predicted to get wins like that. No, let's just be honest. For my entire childhood, I remember growing up, the Browns were the laughingstock of the NFL, like horrifically bad. Never even close to competing at all. Not even 3rd place in the division. They're not even getting more than 5 wins.
Bad.
And so Baker Mayfield and these kind of 5 head coaches in 5 years or whatever, they kind of somehow got the Browns back to where at least they're winning games. So I have to give a Baker
They're
Mayfield.
not competing.
But I have to give Baker Mayfield a lot of credit because to get from 0 wins to basically getting like 8 wins is pretty impressive. Because that's basically being like the worst team to being like an average team. That's pretty impressive. So Baker Mayfield, with all of that being said, he's kind of succeeded, and he was never set up to succeed. So, and once again, though, unfortunately, I think it's a good move because it gets a change of scenery, but it's a bad move because it's the Panthers. And the Panthers are they might be just as bad as the Browns were back in the day. They got no hope.
No hope.
I mean, Sam Darnold, Matt Rule is like maybe the worst quarterback head coach duo partnership of all time. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, it's just bad. He should have been fired last year. Baker Mayfield, he could do some good things, but they're not going to win enough games to get into the playoffs. They're not going to compete nothing. It's a big move and big news because it's Baker Mayfield. But in the grand scheme of things, this move is going to have no impact on anything relevant in the NFL. It's going to have no impact. It's just a team trading someone for a 5th-round pick. 2 mid teams. Some would say not even mid. Browns, it could be decent. The Panthers are not mid. They are just bad. We said that in our predictions. Check that out on the channel, the NFC South predictions.
Could it be good for the Browns, though, if their 5th-round pick is absolutely disgusting?
And it could be good just to get rid of Baker Mayfield and that distraction. I think it's a good move for the Browns.
Deshaun Watson, line him up with a good receiver.
Exactly. I feel like it's a good move. It's just unfortunate I feel like for Baker Mayfield just because he's in another horrible spot with no hope to really succeed. And I feel like he deserves a better chance. Baker Mayfield is a good enough quarterback to deserve a better chance to win.
I can agree with that.
But that's just how it is. Ultimately, though, can the Panthers help kind of revive his career and get him going into where maybe he either continues on as the franchise quarterback of the Panthers or gets himself a contract somewhere else? Can he revive his career with the Panthers in Matt Rule?
Nah,
No?
definitely not.
So he's just going to kind of fade away from here because the Panthers are bad and he's going to look bad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I
think his stats are going to go up a little bit, like I said, and
maybe,
it's not going to be as bad, but nah, it's still going to be bad.
And I feel like the lack of success and the lack of winning is going to be bad. And they're always going to be looking towards the future quarterback, and there's always going to be debate about, are the Panthers going to be trying to draft a new quarterback to replace Mayfield? So there's always going to be something looming over him, and there's always going to be controversy. I just don't see it working out for Baker Mayfield, unfortunately. However, I do kind of like him, so I'm kind of rooting for him. And I hope he does succeed, but the Panthers are just such a bad spot, and they're so bad of a team that there's just no hope for him.